The CoachNet collaboration platform is an enterprise content management system, and part of that system is the Share site, which is a collection of mini collaboration sites that let team members work together on projects, share documents, and so forth. So once you're logged into the Share site, you'll have the ability to look at all of these collaboration sites, these mini sites. In Central Desktop, you would have thought of those as workspaces. So if we search for sites and search with a blank, we will get a list of all the sites that are already set up. These should correlate to your Central Desktop workspaces that you're used to. And most of these sites will be what we call private, and essentially this means that the membership of those sites is controlled. And if you want to join a private site, you have to make a request to the owner of that site by clicking on the Request to Join button. It's pretty straightforward. You request to join, it processes that and notifies the site owner, who then has the opportunity to accept or reject your application. Some sites are completely open sites, and in that case, instead of a request to join button, you'll have a join button, and you can click join and you will be automatically added to the site. You'll note when you come into the system that you will already be enrolled in certain sites, mostly to try to keep consistent with the Central Desktop system. If there are any of those sites that you don't choose to really be a part of anymore, you can leave them by clicking on leave, and that will be automatically processed. Once you have been approved to join a site, you're able to click on the name of that site. Also, the sites that you're part of, you can add to a list of favorites, and you can also add a My Sites to your front dashboard. So there's a lot of ways to navigate. It kind of depends on what makes sense to you. Once you're in a site, you'll note that this has changed, telling me that I'm inside one of these mini sites, and the dashboard has changed. Each site can have its own front dashboard, and that dashboard is completely controlled by the owner of that site or the manager of that site. They have the ability to manage what's displayed on the front page as well as what elements of the site are available. So we have these 6 capabilities: a wiki, a blog, a document library, a calendar, links, and discussions. And the site owner has the ability to decide what of those elements will be included in this site. So a site could just be a calendar and not have all the other stuff. The most common thing that we'll work with is the document library, but we certainly have the ability to use all the rest of these. So this is an interesting site, but I'm going to go back to my dashboard and let's talk about creating a site. All you do is go to Sites and Create Site, and all it really needs is a name, a related URL name, which will show up when you are passing around a link to people. And then in the access, that's where we control what the access level is for this site. Public means that it's available to anyone, so anyone will have that join button automatically. If you make it public but moderate, then people can see that the site's there and they can request to join. Private is we'll set it up for by invitation only. So if I click OK, I have created a site. You can see my site here. And now I'm able to go into my customized dashboard as the owner of this site, and I have the ability to decide what kind of views I'm going to provide into my site. So you can see, there's a number of different dashlets that are available to configure that dashboard. In addition, on my site, I can decide or I can change my name and description anytime. I can also decide what components or elements are going to be available on this site. So maybe I just want a document library and a calendar. I'm able to take all this other stuff off. And now you can see I just have the document library and calendar. I can always say, oops, I meant to have a wiki, so I can just add that back in. So very simple to kind of customize the look and feel for everyone. On members, I can actually invite people by clicking on the Invite People button. And I can find people, add them, and I can make them a manager, a collaborator, a contributor, or a consumer. So a consumer is basically only going to be allowed to review things on the site. A contributor will be able to provide information and so forth. A collaborator will actually be able to approve documents and work with the contributor's work, and a manager kind of has full control over the site. So if I make them a contributor and invite, that user has now been sent an invitation to join the site, and they'll have the ability to accept or reject that invitation. So that's about all there is to joining and creating sites. In our next discussion, we'll talk about some of the individual components of a site.